Hi, I'm Amy Jo Ellis, and welcome to this 14, maybe 21-day challenge if we get going and we feel like, and I feel like it's a whole lot of fun and I want to keep going. I didn't want to stick myself out there too far into the future and not know what was going on. So I held it at 2 weeks, but we might add another week if we're really loving it. The idea behind this, I was actually went in and was channeling last night, and I was guided to, inspired to start this group. And a lot of you will, my guides called it, and I quote, please don't hit me, and I'm probably going to turn red, but they call it shut the fuck up. So I couldn't take that on Facebook, I'm sorry. But so their title for this group is Shut the Fuck Up, What We Say Creates Tomorrow, So Shut the Fuck Up. That was the working title when they came up with it. And I'm like going, well, I can't say that in the Facebook group, but I will say it here in here, and I probably will beep it out in the video when it gets there. Anyway, when it gets to that. Anyhow, this group is created because of what I know goes on. I have told this story a few times, so those that have heard it, bear with me. But when I first moved up here, we had lost everything in a fire. And so when I was here, I mean, I had brought the things I wanted with me from Puerto Rico for a 6-week stay. So I'd only brought what I owned, what I wanted to bring. So I brought one guitar. My son brought another guitar of mine when he came. We didn't realize that the property would burn down while we were gone. And so, so I had a very limited amount of things that I had intended to bring. A very small amount of them came with me. So my biggest loss was the Christmas ornaments that my grandchildren had made. Or not my grandchildren, that my children had made. We had started when they were really tiny to create Christmas ornaments that were made out of ceramic, and we were painting them and having them fired. And we had made these really beautiful, very durable Christmas ornaments. And they didn't come for the 6 weeks of summer. And then when the place burned down, of course, it was a total loss. And Christmas was coming. And everywhere I went, Christmas lights, which would normally make me excited and happy, had a very negative whoosh to my energy. I would fall and I would go, oh my God, I lost this, I lost this, I lost this. And my guides started really getting on me. They're like, you have to take control of your emotions because you are digging yourself into a ditch and it's going to be very hard for you to get out of it. So I ended up telling myself to stop it. Whenever I heard myself thinking about what it was that I had lost, I told myself, just stop, shut up, stop it. And I would also say, shut up. And so I one day was in Home Depot, and I had seen a Christmas ornament there that was a Christmas tree skirt that I had always wanted one, but it was like $55, $65 for this really beautiful skirt. I'd seen it for about the past 4 or 5 years. And last year I had found it on clearance at 90% off, and I paid like $4 or $5 for it. And I was so excited to have that thing. And there it was again, back at its 45, 50, 60 bucks. I can't remember what it was going to be, nor do the math. But I was like devastated because we didn't have any money. We didn't have anything. And I just like burst into tears and went, I lost that. I lost all my Christmas ornaments. I lost this, and started listing the things. And I hear, stop yourself drastically now. And I went, okay, I can do that. And I remembered Anthony Robbins talking at one of his seminars about if you're an overeater, he said, get up out of your chair in a busy restaurant, look down at the chair and yell, stop eating, you freaking pig, and yell it at the top of your lungs. and then sit back down like nothing happened. He goes, I guarantee your nervous system is going to go, oh, I don't want to do that again. And it's going to pay attention. So his idea was to make a drastic thing in a very public display that would help my nervous system know what it was that I wanted and stop it. So stop doing it. It didn't want to be embarrassed again. So it would now focus that way. It would change my address. So here I am, I'm in Home Depot and I'm crying. It got all this upset. And I just pull out my phone and yell, you shut up and listen to me. Shut up and listen to me. And then I go, and I'm doing this. You shut up and listen to me. Have grandkids who can fill that tree with ornaments. Stop fussing. Stop your crying. Everything's fine. And then I just kind of laughed it off because I just made it look like, instead of having Tourette's, that I was on a phone call with somebody and being extremely rude. But I was only being rude to myself. Well, something happened when I did that. I began to recognize that I had a whole lot more power than I thought I did. I would go down the street and somebody had Christmas ornaments in their yard, and they would have some of the stuff that I had, those beautiful snowfall lights that we had them in our orchid trees. And they were like $115 a strand. So I wasn't going to be replacing those anytime soon. As soon as I would see those, it was, oh no, stop it. Stop it. You're not allowed to do that. You can make money to buy those again. You've got the power to do this. And I started to self-talk myself out of this horrible grief that I had been in for probably 4 to 6 weeks. And when I did it, the change was, it only took me like 4 or 5 times to do that. And suddenly I was, right where I wanted to be. So I made this big shift. Well, another thing happened that really made it come home to me. And that is, I was outside in a heavy windstorm. Idaho had the worst natural disaster on record, was a windstorm that hit 3 years ago. And when I was outside at the side of the trailer, we have 10 inches of styrofoam under a tarp on the roof of our trailer, not because the roof leaks, but because the insulation, there's no insulation in a 1955 travel trailer. So we put this big snow dome of styrofoam on there, and then we cinched it down to keep it from blowing away. We glued it down and then cinched it down with a tarp over the top. Well, when that big storm was coming, I was outside tying those tarps down better because I could see I could see that this was blowing so hard, they were going to be pulling styrofoam out of Lake Ponderay above me. So I was like, I do not want those styrofoam to blow away. So I'm going out there, I'm tying them, and I hear 2 trees, not 1, 2 trees come down in the big field behind me. I'm in 120 feet tall Douglas firs. Any one of those comes down in my direction and that house is gone. And so I asked myself, I'm like, am I safe here? And as I've talked about before, the energy just fell. No, I'm not safe. And I went, no, stop it. I do not allow this to take place. I do not allow anything to happen to this trailer. And I should say, in my mind's eye, I saw a big dead tree fly across the world and crush my trailer in my mind. And I went, whoa. No, stop it. I don't allow that to happen. That will not happen. This trailer is safe. I am safe. This trailer is safe. Every tree on this property is completely and totally safe. I demand it. I'm Amy Jo Ellis. I demand it. And I took that demand like that, and my son overheard me, and he's like, Mom, what's going on? And I said, oh my God, in my mind's eye, I just saw we're getting out of here. I'm like, run. I just saw a big dead tree crush the trailer. And I said, in my mind. And so I said, I want out of here. I want to leave right now. Come on. And he says, and he goes, well, what was all that? I said, I told it, I'm safe. The trailer's safe. And he goes, well, am I safe? And as soon as he said, am I safe? That sinking no feeling hit again. And I went, Tenor Wayne Ellis is safe. I demanded, I'm Amy Jo Richards Ellis. I demand that Tenor is safe. Tenor is safe. Tenor is safe. Tenor is safe. Tenor comes on the run. That doesn't sound like a yes to me. And he comes barreling out of the house. The two of us take off and we run to the car, take off and we drive. And as we're driving, giant trees are leaning so far over the road. So like they're leaning over the road and they're bouncing back and forth. And they're not broken, but they're leaning on the telephone lines. And Tenor's like, oh my God, those are coming down. Well, the moment that they came up out of the wind, we gunned it and got out of there. By the time we got to the gas station, the power was out. And Tenor and I spent about 3 or 4 hours sitting in a parking lot, happy, safe, in a clear opening. And when it came time to go home, we couldn't get home because there were so many trees laying in the power lines. We had to drive way down and around and come around the back way. When we got home, there was a great big, giant, dead tree 10 feet off my bedroom wall. I know with everything that I am that I moved that thing. I know that I had made a demand that it be safe. And I said, every tree on this property is safe. I made that demand. When I did it, the neighbors, the next property over, lost 9 trees. The neighbor behind us, 6 trees. The neighbor on the other side of us, 14 trees. Across the street, too many to count. How is it that our little 10 acres didn't lose a single tree? That dead tree blew in on a tornado from somewhere. There's no place that we can find where it got ripped off from. So, sorry, I have to put my phone over there. It's ringing annoyingly. I thought I turned it off, but I guess it just turned it down. Anyhow, so what we say creates tomorrow very, very vividly. And so this is kind of a follow-up group to go with the power of our words, kind of the group that I did before. And so I'm probably going to offer that class again. This class is just going to be pretty lighthearted and just about our words and keeping ourselves on track with making some demands of what it is that we want. And so right now, to start this group out, I want you to put your left hand on your heart chakra, and I want you to raise your right hand. And I want you to say, I, and say your name. So I, Amy Jo Richards Ellis, solemnly swear to myself and only myself to raise my standard of excellence. I promise myself that I will watch and regulate the words that I am speaking. When I catch myself saying something that I do not want, I say, stop it. Or shut the beep up. I don't care. I redirect my thoughts to what I do choose to see happen instead. I say your name again. Do solemnly swear to myself and only myself to raise my standard of excellence. I speak my words for the life I choose to live. And that concludes. So right now you should pat it in and say, so help me, me. So help me, me. Pat it in. And that pretty much concludes the introductory of what this class is about. And like I said, I will probably just be dropping in pre-recorded videos or blogs that I write or something once a day to keep us going. And I want us to use that event group to go in and say, hey, this happened when I was doing this. I caught myself. Go in and be a part of something. And if you know anybody who would enjoy this class, then make sure that you go in and invite them to come into it, because just because I posted it in the group doesn't mean that they won't, that they will see it. So I'm also intend to post it on the Court of Atonement page, which is public, so you can share it. I'm not going to be using the Court of Atonement very much in here because we haven't introduced it to the outer world, so to speak. So that'll be another day. I'll do a little short introduction, and then they can have that, and we'll start using tools. But as of this moment, because it's going public to a bigger, broader base, I'm going to hold off the Courts of Atonement, but maybe tomorrow or the next day we'll start using them in here. All right. See you guys around, and I'm going to hit the stop recording button. See ya.